welcome back to another episode of Coffee and Tea. So, episode 1 was actually made private because it was so bad. And then I felt like I just kind of started to hit my stride in episode 2. So, we're just going to move forward and go straight into episode 3. Enjoy.
It is November 2nd and the third episode of Coffee and Tea. And if you haven't clued in yet, this is not a makeup tutorial and I am not a makeup artist. This is my morning pod clip, and today's topic is social media. I remember when I first got Instagram, I freaking loved it. I never really got into Facebook, so Instagram was where it was at for me. And I think that it was just so much easier to consume because you were just looking at photos and you didn't have to read anything. So you could just go through all these stories really quickly. And then I became a tattoo artist. All of a sudden, my livelihood became dependent on how popular I was on social media. And that became hella stressful. It still is. It stopped being social for me because it's basically a platform in which I'm inviting people to judge me. And the fear is real, guys. I consider myself a pretty confident person, but once you start putting things out there for people to literally that means you're putting it out there that you actually care whether or not they like it. And therefore, you're putting yourself out to be judged. So then TikTok comes out and blows up. And it's all video. And unlike before, it starts to change the landscape of social media. Now, anyone can be popular just by sharing their opinions, commenting, and remixing videos. And when TikTok first came out, I hated it. To be honest, I'm still not sure that I like it. And honestly, I didn't get it. I didn't get why everyone was doing this trend of slow motion sitting down and why that was popular. I didn't understand why copying someone else's video was popular. I thought you wanted to be original and unique. And then one day I finally figured it out. It's not about how good your work is or how deserving you are. It's all about playing the algorithm. And it's also about showing your viewers a good time. If you can get your viewers to be immediately gratified and feel happy, then they will follow you. I mean, that's the reason they're on social media in the first place. So there was one day where I decided I was extra photogenic, and I'm gonna go on TikTok and talk about this crazy ass documentary I saw. And within 10 minutes, it had over 800 views. I've never had anything I've posted get that many views in that short of a time frame. In fact, the reason that I felt comfortable posting a video of my full face making commentary on a show was because I didn't have any followers. I was like, no one but my friends is gonna see this, so it's not embarrassing. So it is known, this has been researched and proven, that putting a smiling person in your commercial makes it more effective. You sell more product or service or whatever you're selling that way. And because I was so stressed out, worried, insecure about putting my face out there on my Instagram or previous work, and just really adamant about only being judged by my work, I was losing out on sales all the time. The second reason why I think this video did so much better than my others was because it wasn't a sale. I was just being myself, talking about a show that I watched. And I think that made it easy for the audience to connect with me. And the third and probably most obvious is I was talking about trending topics, and it is quite possible I also posted or uploaded the video on what we call a peak time on TikTok, which means the most users are on at that time. So immediately I wanted to replicate these results, but gear them towards my actual work instead of my opinions on documentaries on Amazon. There was a part of me that thought maybe I've just been using this app for so long that I'm popular now. So I started posting more reels of my work and on both TikTok and Instagram, and they did not have the same anomaly in viewership as my documentary video did. And when you're an artist or creative, it can be so depressing when you're doing all this work and just not seeing the results from it. Because the reality is, like, for a lot of us freelance artists and entrepreneurs and business owners, we don't get paid until you guys come in. And that often results in a feast or famine lifestyle. But instead of getting down on myself and thinking, oh my god, I've tried everything, I've been doing this for 8 years and nothing works, I had to get real. I had to get real with myself, and I asked myself, have you actually tried everything? The answer was obviously no, because I didn't try making this podcast yet. But also, if I had been doing this for 8 years, and when I say I've done this for 8 years, I haven't worked any part-time jobs. Like, I have literally just been a tattoo artist for the last 8 years and somehow managed to survive. So it just goes to show you that perspective really is everything. And if you have to work 2 jobs, or a job that isn't your passion, or a job that you hate because you got mouths to feed, there is no shame in that. So there's nothing wrong if I do decide that I want to get a second job this year. But before I do that, I really want to give it my all in having the life that I want to create for myself. Which brings us to the quote of the day. It takes a lifetime of preparation to become an overnight success. I would say no one woke up one day and got the job that they have. Most of us had to go to school, graduate high school, go to university, get a degree, and then take that degree to get that job. So yeah, it did take a whole lifetime. And I think we forget that. Just to make this pod clip, I went through at least 3 different episode 1s and maybe like a month of filming footage. My phone ran out of space. I could barely edit. I lost so many episodes, which is why the pod clips start on episode 2, because I just got so sick of reshooting and re-editing episode 1. My point is this: keep going. And if you don't want to take my advice, that's fine. I get it. You're probably like, who the fuck are you? And why are you telling me advice on social media when you're on episode 3 of a 2-episode podcast? Working on this pod clip series has taught me a lot, because I don't think anyone expects their podcast or pod clips to get super popular until they're probably over 20 episodes. So I've got time. And the one thing that has always held me back in my career is sometimes I just forget to play. It's okay to make mistakes, and that's how we learn. We learn by making mistakes and by playing around. And that's so important as an artist and a creator. And I don't think you have to love it to be successful at it, but it definitely helps. So maybe try changing the social media tactics to be more genuinely you. Thanks for watching, and have a great morning.